Hey you! You're watching a clip from the DynamiteGizmo podcast. This is not the full episode, but if you want to see the full episode, make sure to click the link in the description. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Do it now! Here's the clip. So last night, Dana White finally announced the main and co-main event for UFC 317 International Fight Week. Oh, finally, baby. Oh, it's about fucking time, dude. And just as we all expected, because JDM took the victory, Ilia will be fighting Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title. That means that Islam did, in fact, vacate his belt, and he is moving up to fight JDM. Okay? Is this the fight we wanted? No. Is this the fight we expected? Yes. Is it still going to deliver? Yeah, I think it will, for sure. It's still a great fight, okay? But put this into perspective. Imagine you're Ilia Topuria. Imagine you're in Ilia's shoes, okay? You defeat Volk, who beat Holloway 3 times for the belt. Then you beat Holloway, who had just lost to Volk 3 times. Then you decide, I'm going to vacate the belt and move up to lightweight to defeat Islam, who also defeated Volkanovski twice when he vacated the belt to move up and become double champ. And then, come to find out, turns out Islam was vacating himself. And does so as soon as he finds out that Bilal loses. After you just vacated your title in order to prove yourself against one of, if not the greatest, pound-for-pound fighter in the division. It would feel pretty shitty now, wouldn't it, if you were Ilia? Of course it would. But hear me out for a second, all right? Even though we don't get the Islam Topuria fight, okay, I actually think something bigger is in the works because of all this shit, okay? Yes, if Bilal would have won, we would have got that fight, okay? And it would have been great. It would have been big. But it didn't go that way, so I think there's going to be a plan for something even bigger, and here's how it's going to go down. We're still going to get the Islam versus Topuria fight, okay? We are still going to get it. Because if Ilia wins against Charles on UFC 317, that means Ilia is now the lightweight champion, undisputed. And if Islam wins against JDM, whenever that ends up happening, I think Islam is going to keep the welterweight title, and he's going to move back down to lightweight, then fight Ilia for the lightweight title while still holding the welterweight title, being the next and greatest double champ to have ever do it. And he'll continue to defend 2 titles. Now, I know what you're saying. You're screaming at me right now, and you're saying, Dana says they don't want to do double champs anymore. They don't want to do double champs anymore. Okay, everyone's been saying it. Okay? They've been saying that it's been confirmed that Dana doesn't want fighters to hold 2 belts simultaneously anymore. Okay? But I've got a clip to show you here, okay? He said some shit about this, which confirms that all that is actually not true at all. Not even slightly a little bit, my guy. Here it is here.
Lopez said in an interview that the UFC are going to try and sort of stop double champs from happening in the future. Like, so if this case happened, you would have asked Ilia to give up the belt. I don't know if that's a rule, but is that something you'd rather see guys actually vacate rather than try and do both at the same time?
Unless you think you can, defend your title. Listen, if there's a guy that thinks he can do it and wants to defend both belts and has accomplished all these great things, I would have no problem with it. But you're going to be busy.
Lopez.
If there's a guy, okay? If there's a guy. There is a guy. And the only guy that would be is Islam. There's no one else who can be that guy, the guy, other than Islam. And I know that's an old clip, but he still said that. He said that. That wasn't even that old of a clip, but he said that. So it's not, there's no evidence set in stone that Dana White or Hunter Campbell or anyone actually specifically came out and said, no more double champs. All right? Now, Islam did the other day put up a post claiming that he's not vacating his lightweight title, which I have that tweet here. This Saturday's main event will define what's my next move is. But regardless of outcome that fight, I'm not going to vacate my lightweight title. We might get real contender there. He needs to work on his English. But you know what he's saying. So obviously things have transpired since. He did actually vacate the title, unlike what he said. So this just might be him foreshadowing that he isn't going to leave his lightweight title without him behind the reins for too long. Okay? Sure, he vacated it for now. But he's going to come back in and steal it. Now, I imagine people are going to say I'm stupid and I'm a casual who doesn't know what he's talking about. And maybe you're right. But I'm allowed to have an opinion now, ain't I? But just think about where we're at in the UFC right now. Think about the amount of people that have been complaining and bitching about no stars, including myself. No stars, no hype, not good cards, just getting shafted left, right, and center. We need this extraordinary kind of excitement and thrilling energy to get things going once again. And we know Islam is perfectly capable of achieving this goal. And this way, rather than have Islam fighting a vacated featherweight Ilia, which is what we originally wanted, he'll be fighting the current lightweight champion Ilia, being a welterweight champion himself, reclaiming his own territory. That's way more exciting. And that is for sure a possibility of something that can happen. Now, if you follow the MMA guru, he was saying he could see Islam retiring after defeating JDM. And I'm thinking, like, I don't see that happening at all. I don't see that as even a viable option for Islam. I mean, of course, it's always an option. And don't even bring Khabib into this. You're like, oh, Khabib retired at 32 or whatever. But yeah, his father died. If it wasn't for his father dying, he'd still... But Islam is still only 33 years old, which is very much like smack dab right in his prime. So he's more so than ever in his prime. And he's doing so good. And his record is crazy. He's 27-1, and his only loss was somewhat of a bad stoppage to begin with. So you could make the argument that he's 28-0. He's defended the lightweight title 4 times, and he fought lots of good guys. But he still has so much potential. I personally think he still had so much potential in the lightweight division. Specifically like Arman and Gaethje and Holloway and now Topuria. But if things go the way he plans for welterweight, then he will come back down and continue that reign at lightweight as well. I think even if he loses to JDM, he'll still come back down to lightweight as well, you know? Either way, he can come back and reclaim that territory. It doesn't matter. So I think this is actually probably even a better plan than what we wanted to begin with. You know, it is International Fight Week. We're supposed to have major shit. But this is still, there's still things cooking in the future. All right? So don't be completely disappointed. You got to trust the process, my guy. Okay, so then